Holy shit. What a day to be invested in cryptocurrency. Gary Gensler absolutely put on the mantle as he was taken to pieces by Tom Emmer. We're going to take a look at Tom Emmer's 5 minutes and react to what's going on. So fair use YouTube, don't, hold it against me. But this is super interesting as we move ever nearer to getting the potential outcome of the XRP versus the SEC case. The timing of this couldn't be any worse for the SEC and Gary Gensler. However, could not be any better for XRP. Super interesting. We're going to break it down in this video as well as take a look at the price action. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see XRP win that SEC case and you love seeing Gary Gensler really squirm under questioning. Let's get into it. This one is pretty good.
Chair Gensler, I have a lot of questions and a limited amount of time. So if you could keep your answers to either a yes or a no, that will allow us to get through as many as possible, sir.
I love the fact that he comes in straight off the bat and absolutely puts Gary on the back foot. That is owning this line of questioning straight away. Tom Emmer coming in there and basically putting Gary in his place. I think it's super interesting.
From your perspective, is it more difficult now for the digital asset industry to access financial products and services in the United States than it was, say, 2 years ago?
Sir, I'm not running one of those businesses. If they came into compliance, I think
reclaiming my time.
You're going to see this right the way through this, that actually there's a question put to Gary Gensler, and you could see him. This was right the way through the day as well. He was nervous, he was uncomfortable, and he was pausing a lot, which tells me, and a number of my people in the community talked about this is someone thinking of what is the best answer. All of today, like I said, was probably the worst timing for Gary Gensler and the SEC, given the XRP case. But you could just tell he's trying to think of what the answer is that he should give. Tom Emmer giving him absolutely no room to breathe right now. Let's continue.
The answer, sir, is yes. Do you think you and the SEC have had a role to play in that?
I think we have a role to protect the American investor and the capital markets. And
reclaiming my time, sir. You have played an obvious role in that. During your tenure at the SEC, how many rules has the SEC finalized that actually accommodate the existing regulatory framework and are specifically to the digital asset industry so the crypto market can come into compliance?
The great question. How many rules have they finalized? And this is the problem, that actually Gary Gensler is a free man. He's just doing what he wants. And we see that in his personal opinion, and there was another great set of questions put towards him around digital assets, that he ran a course in MIT, but has never actually owned any kind of digital asset. But actually to put there to say, okay, when have you built out a regulatory framework in which crypto assets and companies can work in? And everything that Ripple is saying is that that was not the case, that Gary Gensler and the SEC did not give them a framework, a steer, a view of how they can be legally compliant with what they're doing with their projects. Gary Gensler and the SEC obviously completely refute that point. Let's continue.
It's their rule books that are on the books for years, so we have not finalized any new rule specifically with regard to crypto. We've proposed some things in best execution. We've also...
Sir, reclaiming my time, the answer is 0. And how many enforcement actions has the SEC levied against digital asset companies during your tenure, sir?
I think it's probably 40 or 50.
The answer, sir, is about 55.
So 55 cases where they've gone after a crypto asset with no rules being finalized. Think about this. And anyone watching this, whether that be Judge Torres or anyone right now who is in XRP or the rest of the cryptocurrency market, is thinking, hold on a minute, that's absolutely right.
My understanding is that the biggest crypto failure in history is probably FTX at $9 billion. Were you the chairman of the SEC when FTX collapsed?
Yes.
And how many times did you meet with FTX prior to their collapse?
I think my public record shows 2.
You met it?
I love the fact that my public record shows 2. Okay, let me put this to you. If you are talking about meeting up with someone or going to do something, you speak as if it's happened. You speak absolutely there. So yes, I've been 10 times or whatever. The fact that Gary Gensler says my public record shows 2 tells me he absolutely has been more than 2 times.
With FTX at least twice. And arguably, the second biggest crypto failure in history was Terra Luna. Who was the chairman of the SEC when Terra Luna collapsed, sir?
We had brought...
You were, sir. Reclaiming my time, you were. There are 5 members on the commission. Do you believe your speeches and interviews are to serve as the official position of the SEC?
I can only speak for myself when I'm.
And again, that's a really important point. I can only speak for myself. And here's the worry that Gary Gensler speaks for himself on behalf of the SEC. And ultimately then it's depicted as law. It's depicted as the view that this will be the thing. And this is where the XRP case is incredibly important for both the cryptocurrency and XRP, because this is the one time someone stood up with capital to back them and said, we're not happy with how you are pursuing this, Mr. Gensler.
I'm speaking.
Again, sir, in a statement on the SEC website, you are quoted saying the Kraken staking as a service enforcement action should make clear to the marketplace that staking as a service providers must register. But again, you haven't provided any rules for how that can be done.
Remember, Kraken rolled over 30 million quid. Gary Gensler tickled the belly and they just gave it. And again, we're seeing more and more people like Coinbase saying we'll move to a different country. We're seeing people like Japan say welcoming to others. And this is why this is incredibly interesting. This is absolutely a detriment to the US economy, with Gary Gensler single-handedly being that person.
I must remind you, your public statements are not regulations. It's not responsible to expect the American people to assume your statements are a substitute for rules. Do you agree with this statement regarding the digital asset industry? The SEC needs additional congressional authorities to prevent transactions, products, and platforms from falling between the regulatory cracks.
I think that it's a largely non-compliant field. And
Sir, again, I asked you to comply with my questions.
Get him, Tom. He's just trying to spin this. This is the point where he's trying to make up something without basically putting himself on the chopping block, without kind of stumbling into a hole that can ultimately affect the potential outcome of the XRP case. And this is where Tom Emmett has been great in this, again, for crypto and that XRP case.
And I'm asking you if you agree with that quote. And I'm going to tell you, I'm quoting you from an August 3rd, 2021 article where you, and I believe you told Congressman Hill earlier that you need congressional authority to regulate stablecoins, and stablecoins happen to be a significant percentage of the crypto market. So the question is, when were you telling the truth? To Mr. Hill or to me? You've got to start answering these questions in a more transparent manner, sir. Does it concern you, by the way, that your approach to the digital asset industry is actually driving this industry out of the United States?
And I've been saying this for a number of times, that we see the United States struggling as once an absolute global dominance in cryptocurrency. We see all of these other countries, even here in the UK, are absolutely looking to become a crypto hub, to welcome crypto projects, crypto assets to come and build in here. Why? Because there is a $1.27 trillion industry built on top of this. Remember, all-time highs up around the 3 trillion mark. Absolutely insane.
We're trying to drive it to compliance, and if they're not complying with the laws, then they shouldn't be offering their products.
Reclaiming my time. Madam Chair, I would like to enter into the record this Wall Street Journal article from April 14th, 2023, detailing China's ploy to open its banking system to crypto firms in an effort to seize an opportunity created by our hostile regulatory environment, which, Mr. Chair, you're a big part of.
Without objection.
Chair Gensler, FTX was domiciled abroad and so is Binance, yet American consumers still had access to both. You can't really think that pushing this industry abroad is going to protect American consumers when it hasn't several times in the past on your watch. You say the crypto market is rife with non-compliance. However, existing SEC rules make no sense for blockchain-based companies, and following them would actually kill these businesses. Your regulatory style lacks flexibility and nuance, and as a result, you've been an incompetent cop on the beat, doing nothing to protect everyday Americans and pushing American firms into the hands of the CCP. Your intention to work against SEC mission and put American investors in harm's way has been made very apparent, sir. It's been a year and a half since you've appeared before this committee. You need to answer to Congress about the issues that you've had with the SEC staff union, the work environment you've cultivated at the SEC that's led to hemorrhaging of senior staff, the intellectual inconsistency of your regulatory treatment towards Bitcoin spot ETFs, and your politicization of capital formation opportunities through your treatment of certain SPACs. And that's just to name a few.
5 minutes.
I think it's super interesting to bring this to kind of end. That bit at the end is almost an absolute fact of what Gary Gensler has done. What has he actually done to support both the American people and the economy using digital assets? Cryptocurrency is not going to go away. Cryptocurrency is going to be here for the duration, and it's about embracing this technology. Yes, I do believe we need an element of regulation. However, I don't believe Gary Gensler is that person to bring that. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. What does it mean in terms of the markets? Well, we have seen XRP absolutely explode on today. 4.5%, currently trading at the 5337, 53 cents, on its way up. We want to see this 54 break, and then we could be on our way up to 60 cents. So XRP looking incredibly bullish. The only best thing we could get now would be the outcome of the XRP SEC case, in which the XRP Ripple team win, and I think we see an incredibly explosive market. Quite a long video this. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of that whole SEC thing with the Gary Gensler trial? And as ever, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything going on in cryptocurrency, and we'll be bringing you the latest with the XRP news as it happens. Thank you so much. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.